is our why, and we hope
This
it's
is why we do it. Dun, 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 dun,
you just revamped the
dun, dun.
song.
Right, exactly. Welcome to Re and the Rev.
Yes. Oh, wait, before we go further, please subscribe, like, and share. This is something you want to stay connected to us with, right? Right. And go to Instagram too.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what's the topic? What we going to talk about?
Uh, why we do this? Why we do this?
Why are we doing videos?
Mm-hmm.
Why do we open up our lives like this?
More so than because you just want to. You like doing that stuff.
Well, no, I'm kind of private. So it's not just that I'm trying to open up my life, it's that I feel like there's something of value here.
Private people don't post as much as you do.
But I don't post a lot. Like I keep a lot to myself. A lot.
You're right.
I mean, compare what I post
But
to
you
like
come
some
other
other
people, yeah,
major
that's true.
influencers. Listen.
That's true, baby. That's
See?
true. Some people just post. You ain't got to post everything.
Okay. You sound like a grouch.
I do. I
You
do.
know,
I know
old
as the
grumpy
older I
man.
get, the more I have to go like this.
Mm.
There's so many things I'll probably be fired if I say some
Yeah,
stuff.
don't say it all. You can't tell it all. You can't
I
tell
can't
it
post
all.
it all.
Can't post it all. No, can't do that.
No.
So why are we doing this? Let's get to it. What is the real reason? Why do you do it? Why did you agree? Since
I
you're
think
gonna
one
put
day
it on
we
me.
we had a I can't remember the conversation, but it was roughly around not being able to uh, feel as though people would take us seriously when it comes
Oh,
to giving relationship advice. But I think when we were talking, when you talk about how you can talk about your journey of, you know, being a single female uh, and your your journey,
mm-hmm.
and then me and having been married before for over 20 years, being divorced and remarried, there's a lot of experiences that we both
Yeah.
have, that we have that we can share with other people that are navigating
Mm-hmm.
life as a married man or a woman or a single man or a woman that is trying to live the life that God and Jesus wants you to
Mm-hmm.
walk.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think we have a lot to share from that perspective.
You're right. I was the one very, very cautious and making and wanting to make sure that we were not posing or presenting ourselves
Mm-hmm.
as relationship gurus, relationship experts, because we don't have a lot of marriage experience together.
Right.
But to his point, my why in wanting to just open our hearts, open our lives a little bit. One is because I think that it does provide hope for some who can identify with either one of our stories, either
Yeah.
one of our journeys. For me, as a single woman, I never really had a very serious, committed relationship leading towards marriage. I never was engaged. So, coming into this new space for women who are, especially leaders in the church or trying to live a certain a certain lifestyle that's very contrary to the world.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Um,
Right.
Once you get, in your 30s, mid 30s and 40s, people start to look at you and wonder what's wrong. And I hate that question. Why aren't you married yet? Well, I'm not married because I'm not willing to settle.
And the
I'm not
guys are
married.
like, "Oh, she
Oh,
must be crazy. She
yeah.
crazy."
What's that foolishness about?
But I mean, usually it's true, but
But
not for you, baby.
the truth is, we don't want to be in something crazy. So that's why we don't just jump at everything. And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay to be single. And I was literally planning to like get some roots in that. I had a wonderful single life, and I had talked to my mother about downsizing, maybe living with her and living in the Caribbean part of the year. And I was just on this path, like, if God, okay, if you don't have this for me, then I'm gonna go ahead and continue to enjoy my life. It's just this pandemic shut everything down,
Mm-hmm.
and before I realized it, I was yeah,
Yeah.
with a
Yeah.
whole man,
Yeah. Because
whole
we probably would never
husband.
met had the pandemic not shut down. Because
That's
I
a good
wasn't.
point.
I definitely. I wouldn't have slowed down enough to
Yeah,
to meet you.
and I wasn't
And you weren't.
in the space
In the
to really
space.
open. Yeah.
Yeah.
So once, we started looking at these different aspects, which to me are like two opposite ends
Mm-hmm.
of a spectrum, and how God brought it together. It seemed like, wow, there's a lot here that I know others could benefit from, because again, my journey as a single woman, and for those who desire to be married, or even if you feel like, well, I'm not lonely and desperate, but I would like it, but it's not happening. So what am I going to do? Well, I can speak to that, and I can speak to having a full life and not feeling like you're missing out or you're less than a person because you are not married, or the pressure that others put on you. Thank God I did not have family or friends doing that to me. Thank God. Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Thank y'all. Thank you so much. But then the other extreme is that for people like Ree, I was always thinking about how so many people cut themselves off of the potential for love again because they've had a divorce or just a really bad experience in a long-term relationship. And I know that doesn't have to be the end of the story. It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have to be. It may require some adjustments and changes. Because I know you began a certain.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't for me. It wasn't that I had to cut myself off from love or relationships. Uh, I was still open and knew that somewhere down the road I would, be
Mhm.
uh, married again, and so I was always open to that. But I knew that I wanted to do things differently, and I was going to take my time and wasn't going to be in a rush to be in a relationship. Uh, so now that didn't mean, never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, that did. Yeah, right. That didn't mean he was necessarily doing everything
Right, right, exactly,
differently.
right, right.
But he had to meet the
But
right one to
but
help him out.
right, but I did say I wanted to definitely do things differently. I remember having a in-depth conversation with one of my best friends that you guys have heard me talk about before, and we just talked about moving slower, and getting to know
Mm-hmm.
me again because
Mm-hmm.
I'd been married for so long, over
Mm-hmm.
20 years, been with a person, you know, through college. So that's
Yeah.
a long period of time. So that's about 26, 27 years of, being with someone else.
Yeah.
So when
I
you've been
guess
in a
more than half your
long-term
life.
relationship, yeah, yeah. So when
Wow.
you've been in a relationship for that long, there's there's a part of you that loses who you are,
Mm.
because, and that goes with male and female, regardless of uh, how active you are, there's still a part of you, because
Mm-hmm.
marriage is also about sacrifice. That uh, if you're starting all over, you are you should be learning new things about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and I think that also goes along with the healing process.
Mm-hmm.
So, I,
That's good.
back to your point about why we do this, I think there's a lot of experiences that we have
Mm-hmm.
that we can help other people navigate
Mm-hmm.
uh, through their own personal journeys and stories.
That's really good. I was also thinking about for single women, and I'll speak specifically to women who are leaders, whether in the church or you are the CEO, you're the boss woman, you are the independent woman, your values, your busy life. Sometimes I think there's a space we have to be still long enough to make room for someone else. Um, the same way you said you don't think the pandemic, well, you don't think we would have met had it not been for the pandemic, because you
Mm-hmm.
probably would not have slowed down. I kind of feel the same way. And what's interesting, I think I've told you before, I heard this from the Lord. Now check this out. This is crazy, but it's true. I remember back in like 2019, early 2019, maybe late 2018, but I remember a whisper in my spirit, like when you sit down or when you stop dancing, you'll probably meet somebody. And I took that like, oh, I don't want to stop dancing because I salsa dance. I was like having fun. I had a wonderful single life, and I was like, but I don't want to have to give up dancing. Lord, just make him like dancing. Make him a dancer. Like I remember having that conversation and feeling like, man,
I like all of these. Oh, this
stop,
man I'm
stop.
dancing with.
But hey, dance people. But I remember that very clearly,
Mm-hmm.
very vividly. And it was amazing when the pandemic shut everything down. And after we met, it came back to me. Like I did stop dancing. I
Yeah.
did have to sit down and be still. And that's when you came into my life. And it was like, okay, I get it. Sometimes God will give you a hint or drop something in your spirit, and it's all true. It just may not have all the details in
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm-hmm.
narration, and it certainly came to pass. And I personally want to encourage women who might be desiring to marry, whether you are one who grew up with that desire. I didn't necessarily have that all my life, but whether you grew up with that desire or if you came to a place in life where you realized you wanted to have companionship and now you're ready, give yourself some time to make room, and let God give you space for that, because it is going to be an adjustment. And it doesn't mean that, um, I guess it doesn't take anything away from you if it's later in life. And sometimes I hesitate to say later, because if it's God's time, it's right on time. Like, I don't feel like I'm late getting married. I feel like I'm married when it was best for me,
Right.
and we fit because we've actually grown up. Like, I got through all I could of my single life. I didn't wait to buy a car. I didn't wait to buy a house. Those things, those
Mm-hmm.
markers. I didn't wait to go travel. I lived. Um, so there was nothing I was holding on to or holding out on. For a man, I just felt like now is the time I really want to enjoy more of all of that with a companion.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Lucky
Yeah.
you.
Lucky me. Lucky
So
me.
I guess this is our why, huh?
So why?
We do it because we've learned some things through life. We want to share it and hopefully encourage someone else. And all of it is about the intensified life for me as well. I believe that God wants us to live the fullness, take off the barriers, break through all old mindsets, do things differently, whatever hinders you from being able to experience that life that I believe is abundant and full of peace and joy and
Mm-hmm.
love. And we grow up, um,
I
and see
think
what
that's
God has to do.
something else too. I think that uh, what's good about this, or why we do that is because we genuinely, I think, like to help people.
Oh yeah,
It's not like
absolutely,
we're doing it for
absolutely,
any other thing. Like even from me
absolutely.
being in, you know, college and, you know, places that I worked and
Mhm.
things that I did to even now with uh, the nonprofit that I have,
Mhm.
uh,
Mhm.
and same with you. We
Mhm.
just genuinely
Mhm.
like to help people.
Right. Want to
So we
encourage the
want to
good
encourage, yeah,
and
exactly. Because we
positive
got
and
enough negativity in the world
oh
and
Jesus.
a lot of negative stereotypes. So
Yeah, yeah.
anytime you can have a positive uh, couple, male,
Mhm.
female,
Mhm.
bringing something hopefully of value to someone else that can keep them from making a mistake that you
Mhm.
made,
Mhm.
uh, or encourage them
Mhm.
along a
To wait on God and trust God. Mhm.
yeah, then why not?
Absolutely. Why not?
So
So this is why we do it. This is our why, and we hope
this
it's
is why we do it. Dun, 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 dun,
this is,
dun, 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 dun,
you just revamped the
dun, dun.
song.
Right,
Because
exactly,
this is
exactly.
how we do it.
Oh, this is yeah. See, I never,
You never listen to the
I
lyrics.
never really liked that song.
Okay,
Hmm. Yeah,
I guess, are we done with our why?
yeah.
We're done with our why. And we hope you will stay tuned for more. Who knows what'll pop off and what will come up. But this is our why, and we hope it is a blessing to you. All right, stay tuned. All right, follow us on Instagram, subscribe, like, and share right now. This is
Re in the rev.